Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, and this week we have 9 incredible watches for you guys and girls, and just like every week we're trying to really provide that variety and that sort of wow factor of the spectrum of watches that, well, what watches can provide really, and to really emphasize that we have an incredible unworn Moser Endeavour Vantablack, all the way to a very cute rose gold plated D1 Milano in quartz. So again, this drop is really epitomizing everything we're trying to provide and achieve here at Kibble Watches, and we also have some great Seikos and Citizens on the table. I realised it had been a while since we actually did quite a few Seikos and Citizens and more affordable pieces. One of them is definitely up there because it's a part of the SLA family, which we'll get onto. But the rest of them are really well priced, great value for money, and again, these kind of pieces are great entry level for people wanting to get into watches, or for the well-established collector wanting something really versatile and great, or just a lot of fun. And they really do tick a lot of boxes. So whenever I get the opportunity to get a lot in, I always do my best. So yeah, excited to bring this episode to you guys and girls. But before we dive into the watches on the table, I am wearing my Christopher Ward. This is my C65 limited edition in yellow. Believe limited to 316 pieces. Really like it. It's one of those shocking watches because when you hear a bright yellow dial, you don't think that's going to work and it's not something you'd wear. However, it is incredibly versatile. It actually surprisingly works with whatever I'm wearing. I'm wearing a hoodie today. It works. I wear it with, well, I usually wear this kind of stuff, so I don't know what I'm on about, but I'm assuming it would work in other attire as well. But I just really like it, really enjoy it. And again, don't wear it enough like most of my watches. So I'm making a conscious effort at the moment to wear it a bit more. But now that all the rambling is out the way, let's crack on with what you're here to see, and that is the watches on the table. We're going to start with this absolutely incredible piece. This is a H.Moser Endeavour Center Seconds Vantablack, an absolutely incredible watch. So let's take a closer look. So we are starting this episode off with an incredible H.Moser & C Center Seconds Endeavour in Vantablack. Now, those of you hardcore watch enthusiasts out there will know that name, Vantablack, and that is the incredible dial which absorbs something like 99.6% of light or something absurd like that, which basically means it is one of the blackest dials you will ever see, and it really is. It's incredible just how black that dial is, and it sounds like a really silly thing to say because you think a black dial is a black dial, but it really is incredible when you see it in person. This features the center seconds in a beautiful purple tone, and this is the reference 12001235, and the watch is brand new and it is unworn. Something to keep in mind is if you do see anything, it is probably fingerprints, because this watch, being all polished pretty much apart from a few brushed areas here and there, does pick up fingerprints quite easy. Apologies for that noise. As we flip it over, you're presented with an absolutely wonderful movement, and this movement is the automatic H.Moser & C caliber 200. As you can see, exquisitely finished, beautiful balance in blue, which we have a nice sort of detailed description on the website discussing all of these features and more information about this movement. Really beautiful signed crown as well, and the flanks of the case are just so mesmerizing. A real beautiful watch, beautifully finished, and I can really see the appeal. This one's from March 2023. It does come with its box and paperwork. It is brand new, as I say, unworn, and it comes with its manufacturing warranty as well. They show it rested on wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go, gently rested on my 7-inch wrist. What you're looking at is 40mm by 47mm lug to lug, only 11mm thick and 20mm on the lugs. Really beautiful proportions, and it really is mesmerizing on wrist. This is one, if you are in the market for this, I'd recommend booking an appointment. Come seeing it for yourself, because it will absolutely blow you away. So next up we have a really cool Seiko, part of the SLA family, so high grade movement, high grade finishing, high grade in general, and it's nicknamed the Astrolabe, which I had to do a little bit of research in, and it's basically an ancient instrument for determining time, if I'm not mistaken. Or a handheld model of the universe is as it's described, and it's emulated on the dial pattern as well. Really fascinating, very cool, and actually put it in a completely different light for me now, because I think that is a really cool connection. But either way, a great watch, so let's take a closer look. Next up we have this very awesome limited edition Seiko, part of the SLA family, specifically the SLA 065J1, limited to 1,300 pieces. And this one's from January 2023 with its box and paperwork, as you'd expect. And as we take a closer look at that dial, you will see just how incredible that is. So this watch is called the Astrolabe, and I'd recommend you Google Astrolabe, and you'll see the little sort of handheld ancient device which was used to sort of imitate the universe. It had little turning gears by the looks of it. I'll be honest, I don't know an awful lot about it, but you can definitely see the similarities of the dial and where the inspiration has come from, and I think that is really, really cool. You can see a blue ceramic bezel, but this is a very dark blue, so it's quite interesting. In some lights it looks black, in some lights when you catch it just at the right angle it becomes this really metallic blue. Very, very nice, very attractive piece. And the date is also done in what looks like a metal date disc. I don't know if it is, but it certainly looks that way. Really nice texture to it, which I think contrasts nicely against the dial. You have a nice screw-down crown, as you'd expect, and a screw-down case back featuring the automatic Seiko 8L35, a higher grade movement compared to the usual 6 series from Seiko. As I say, January 2023, limited to 1,300 pieces, full box and paperwork on its original strap, still with some stickers present, as you saw on the case back as well. So worn very, very sparingly. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, paired comfortably on my 7-inch wrist. What you're looking at is 41mm by 47mm lug to lug, 13mm thick, and 20mm on the lugs. Thank you, Seiko, for not doing 19 on this one. Very easy to swap out, although this is a very comfortable strap and it works really well with the dial, in my opinion. So go check out this watch and save yourself a nice chunk on retail today. Now let's go on to one of my favorites on the table, and it's no surprise. This is the Seiko Turtle 1968 reinterpretation. This is the SPB317, a really great looking watch, and especially at this price point, it is unbelievable how good this watch is, to the point where I am considering terrible things myself, and I shouldn't. So let's take a closer look at this, and someone hurry up and take it before I do. So as I said in the intro, my personal favorite from this week's drop, this is the Seiko Turtle 1968 reinterpretation, and I think they've done a really nice job of it. It looks fantastic, and what I really like is that they've made the case all brushed. There is no polish on the case itself. There is on the case back, but not on the case. Even the bezel has a nice bold sort of brushed part, I forgot the name then, and a really nice matte black dial with a matte black bezel. All working really well, and a date tucked away over there. Personally, I'd have preferred no date, but again, it is always handy having a date. The watch I'm wearing doesn't have a date, and I've actually looked quite a few times at it for the date. So yes, it is a handy feature, that's for sure. So this one is the SPB 317J1 from July 2022 with its box and paperwork. As you can see, condition is again fantastic, lightly worn, still actually some stickers on the buckle, and this is the original Seiko rubber strap, which is far more comfortable than most of the rubber straps that Seiko's often come on, so I'm a big fan of this one. Inside is the automatic Seiko caliber 6R35, a very reliable, well-used movement among the Seiko lineup. But again, this is one of those watches that really does look great, both on wrist, off wrist, and it photographs nicely as well because of how matte everything is. It just looks fantastic. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. They have kept the dimensions nice and tight on this one at 41mm by 47mm lug to lug, only 12mm thick, and again 20mm on the lug, so endless options. Although again, this pairing works really well, but as always, the Seiko straps, in my opinion, are quite long. They give you plenty of options, so if you have tiny wrists, you can totally wear them, but you're going to have a lot of excess rubber overhang. But yeah, really, really nice watch, really well made, and at the price point, even at retail, I don't think you can go wrong. So pre-owned like this one, the price is undeniable, so go check it out on the website today. Now on to a Seiko 5 Sports, or Seiko S Sports, whatever you want to call it based on the dial, because it looks like an S now, but this is the Brian May limited edition of 9,000 pieces in steel. We do have the gold-plated version on our website, which we've had for a little while. I really like that one. The colours work so well, but the steel is definitely the more popular one, the one people want more of. So here it is, and let's see how quick it goes. Next up, the Seiko Brian May in stainless steel, limited to 9,000 watches, and this is the reference SRPE83K1. This one's from May 2020 with its box and paperwork, and that is its fancy special box that you'd expect from Seiko when they do these kind of limited editions. You have the really cool red and black dial emulating the guitar, and as we open it up, you will see on the case back a signature and limited edition number and all that good stuff as well. Inside there is the automatic 4R36, again a movement that Seiko have been using for a very long time, very reliable and well used. It is a good looking watch. That red and black really does pop, and what I really like about this is they've just called it the Red Special on the dial, and they've not really made any more of a sort of hint to the limited edition nature. Sometimes with not just Seiko, many brands, they absolutely scream a limited edition, and you have to really be into whatever it is a limited edition of to wear it. This watch, however, you don't even have to be a fan of Brian May, in my opinion, to wear this, because the design speaks for itself and it stands alone, separate to the limited edition, which I really like. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. Here we go, paired on my 7-inch wrist on its original Seiko NATO strap. What you're looking at is 42.5mm by 46mm lug to lug, 13mm thick, that's excluding the NATO strap, so do keep that in mind, and 22mm on lug, so endless options. I would personally swap this out for a nice rubber strap, maybe even the fitted ones from, I think it's Uncle Straps now, I don't think it's Uncle Seiko anymore, but those guys do some really great options, so go check this one out on the website today. From there to a Prospex Paddy special edition with a very, very cool sort of blue iodinized bezel or whatever you call it. Really, really nice gradient dial. Specific reference SPB071. Let's take a closer look at this one. And the last Seiko on the table, this is the Seiko Prospex Paddy special edition. The SPB071J. This one's from February 2022 with its box and paperwork, and inside the automatic Seiko caliber 6R15, a movement we are all very, very familiar with now. It comes paired on its original Seiko rubber strap as well, which is in blue, which pairs nicely on that dial. As you can see, a very beautiful gradient black to blue, emulating the ocean as you dive deeper, which I think is really cool. You have a very nice red second hand and red highlights throughout, which again really pop against the blue. It's a really nice design, this one, and the bezel is what I really, really like. You have this blue steel effect around the outside, which again, that little pop of blue against the blue of the dial with the black of the bezel and the black of the dial as well, it all just pairs so nicely and creates for a nice package. I really like this one, so let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on wrist. I really find it amazing how Seiko managed to make these watches wear. So all of these watches are pretty much different dimensions, but all wear really nicely on the wrist. And this one is 42mm by 49.5mm lug to lug, so just under that 50mm, yet it wears just as comfortably as the others. 13.5mm thick and 20mm on the lugs, which obviously tapers out just after the lugs to make it more flush to the case. So a really great watch, well worth checking out on the website today. From there to a Citizen ProMaster automatic, nicknamed the Fugu, and it's inspired by a pufferfish. A very, very cool watch, very cool dial as well, just like this Astrolabe, but on a very, very different budget, under £300 all day long, and really, really cool colour scheme as well. I like this one a lot. Let's take a closer look. So Citizen time with the automatic ProMaster, part of the Fugu range, which I believe means pufferfish. I could be wrong on that, or it's some kind of pufferfish, but this watch, the dial and the case back is in reference to that animal, the pufferfish, as you can see proudly stated on the case back right there. A really great watch, and the ProMaster range really does offer insane value for money in this professional diving range of watches. You really cannot go wrong. As you've probably noticed already, crown on the left hand side, which takes a minute to stop picking it up the wrong way around. I'm still trying to get used to that. And you have this really interesting texture on the dial, day date, and a vibrant pop of yellow, which looks really, really great and contrasts nicely in my opinion. This one won't bore you with the reference, you can see it on the website, it's quite a long reference, and inside is the automatic Miyota caliber 8204, a movement they have been using for a very long time, which was upgraded with hacking and hand winding. And this one's from March 2023 with its box and paperwork. Very good looking watch, paired on its original Citizen rubber strap as well. And again, if you're into pufferfish, this is the watch for you. We've found it. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my wrist. And just as a side note, I have owned pufferfish and I want this watch just for that fact. How silly is that? So this is 44mm by 49mm lug to lug, 12.5mm thick and 20mm on the lugs. It might sound like quite large dimensions being 44, but I tell you what, it just wears super comfortably because again, it's not a very long watch. It's just a wide watch, but it sits on the wrist nicely. Will take me a moment personally to get used to the crown on the left hand side, but I kind of like how it looks. So go check it out on the website today. Now on to another ProMaster, this time an Eco Drive Quartz, a quintessential Citizen in my opinion. It really will look good with whatever you wear, and it's just super cheap and affordable really. That's the sort of main point of it. You get yourself a well-built watch, 200 meters, screw down crown, ridiculous at this price point. So let's take a closer look. And now for the last Citizen on the table, the quintessential ProMaster Diver. This basically epitomizes what Citizen do in the diving world at a budget, and they do it damn well. Not only is it a really good looking watch, it actually comes on a fitted rubber strap, which you very rarely see at most price points, never mind this price point. Screw down crown, 200 meters water resistant, and Eco Drive. So for those of you that don't know, Eco Drive, it's powered by the sun basically. So you keep it in the sun to charge up and off you go. Has a cell inside which holds that power, and it holds it for a very, very long time. My father has an Eco Drive and he's owned it since 2010, and he's never had a cell change on the watch, and it still works today. So that puts it into perspective. What's that, 13 years? That's insane. So as I say, screw down crown, nice solid screw down case back, and this one's from 2023 with its box and booklet. Its paperwork isn't signed, it is stamped, so do keep that in mind. Not that it really matters at this price point, because you're getting yourself a lifetime watch, that's for sure. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, comfortably fitted on my 7-inch wrist. That is one good looking watch, especially with that fitted rubber strap. What you're looking at is 41mm by 49.5mm lug to lug, only 11mm thick and 22mm on the lugs. So endless options if you did want to swap it out, although I don't think you would. This looks good, so go check it out on the website today. And last but by no means least, a D1 Milano ultra thin rose gold quartz, a very, very nice looking piece. In the 34mm size, so maybe the ladies one, it doesn't really matter. If you like the design of it, you like the look of it, it wears pretty well. So let's take a closer look at this one. And last but by no means least, a very attractive rose gold D1 Milano ultra thin, reference UTBL09, and this is the quartz model. What you're looking at, rose gold, very, very aggressive taper on the bracelet. I've owned a couple of these D1 Milanos over the years, some automatic ones, and they always have this really extra taper, which works really, really nicely and looks really good. A nice sort of hidden deployment clasp, which is just pressure fit, so you just pull it open like so. Nice case back, nicely done. D1 Milano at this price point are really, really great. If you're after this kind of design, you want a bit of a homage, which isn't too much of a homage, that is clearly trying to just be something else, like it still has some of its own design elements. I think this is really great. Nice crown as well, which has a black cabochon in there, as you can see. I really like that little detail. And this one's from August 2021 with its box and paperwork and spare links. Let's see if I can show it on wrist, because it is quite small at the moment. We should probably put those links in. But here we go on my 7-inch wrist. I don't think that's too small personally, but I do like small watches, so do keep that in mind. This is 34mm by 40.5mm lug to lug, only 6.5mm thick. Very, very thin, and 21mm at this point, tapering down massively to the lugs. A very attractive watch, either for a lady out there, or for you to gift to your lady and steal it from time to time, or just for you if you want to rock this. So go check it out on the website today. So there you have it, guys and girls. This week's drop, 9 incredible pieces, ranging massively from, as I say, the H.Moser all the way down to the D1 Milano and some Citizens and Seikos as well. A very, very cool drop. Let me know what's your favorite piece down in the comment section, and I look forward to bringing you next week's episode. We're working on some great pieces for that one, so we'll see you all again then. Take care.